Tiny Monk by a neck, sailing on the outside, challenging through the stretch. A 16th of a mile to go. It's Tiny Monk showing the way, sailing on his second. Coming on the finish, Tiny Monk leads by a length. They come through the lane, a 16th of a mile to go. Alden's Ambition, Lady Loose up on the outside. Alden's Ambition and Lady Loose fight it out. Ernestine coming on the outside pillar point. Inside the 16th pole, Ernestine drawing out to lead by 3 lengths.
And they're up. Williamsburg as they swing in an 1/8 of a mile to go. Williamsburg and Gerald Almodovar now lead down to 3 lengths. Stormy Invasion on the outside's got a chance here. Stormy Invasion and Shook. Stormy Invasion, Shook surging. Stormy Invasion, Shook in Williamsburg as they swing into the stretch, and ODN whipping up 3 wide. Long to go. ODN to a narrow lead, and here comes Pagan Jewel. ODN and Pagan Jewel in the photo with Lucky 8th, then Bet Without the Hail. And they're up. Good start. The inside Habanero Gold, Cole and Taylor, Jazzy, Little Stevie broke with him, settles deep on the track, and it's a plane near the inside, and last is Can't Catch Me Now. They're trying to catch Habanero Gold. Passed us the first time. And It's a Plane kicks away with a 2.5 length advantage from Cole and Taylor, and then Can't Catch Me Now. It's a Plane. It's the son of It's a Bird. It's a Plane to win by a couple. Here, Harlan's Perfection. Harlan's Perfection's making a good go on the outside. Harlan's Perfection keeps rolling. Set for 6, trying to hold. Set for 6. Set for 6, won it.
And good afternoon, race fans. Welcome to the 132nd running of the Maryland State Fair here in Timonium, Maryland. The Big T, as we all like to call it, the only state fair this side of the Mississippi that still has live horse racing. I'm Stanton Salter, along with the voice of the Maryland State Fair, Dave Rodman. He'll be calling all the races for you this weekend and next weekend. 7 of the best days of summertime. Some nice races today. You have a ticket for the late pick 5. You're ready to jump right in to the handicap in action. Welcome to the Big T.
Thanks, Stan. It's great to be back. We've got the Maryland Coalition, the Timonium Distaff, College Day coming up. Lots of activities, of course, for everyone here at the Maryland State Fair, and Grooms Awards honoring the people that really take care of the horses and make them shine in the post parade. Today's Grooms Awards sponsored by Chanceland Farm today.
All right, good stuff. You'll see lots of local Maryland horse people, a lot of the breeders from the farms, and a lot of college kids. You said College Day is on Saturday. A lot of young people here at the fair. Get a close-up look. The jockeys walk through the crowd after the races. They try to get some jockey goggles. So that's what we try to do here at the Maryland State Fair, introduce horse racing to new fans that don't traditionally get out to Laurel and Pimlico. So let's get right to it. The track condition today, we had a lot of rain last night everywhere, right?
Yeah, a big storm last night. Came through a little bit of lingering rain this morning here in Maryland, but it's cool temperatures off. That's good news. After a hot week, it's going to be a really nice weekend. Tomorrow is going to be perfect here at Timonium, but we'll deal with a good track today under cloudy skies. Some lingering showers. They should be pushing out of the area, according to the forecast, by mid-afternoon.
All right, good stuff. Let's get right to it here. Race 1's going to kick off the popular early pick 5. It's a mandatory payout on the early pick 5 here at the Big T. Industry low 12% takeout on both the pick fives here at Timonium. Race 1, we're going a mile in a 16th, claiming 5,000. Never won 2 lifetime, 3 and up, and I go the 1. We both like the 1 here. Lagras Bill for trainer Kenny Cox. The Cox Barn having a solid year, 23% on the year. They get 5 pounds off here with the apprentice Kymar Trotman. And while this horse getting a big class relief, he last ran for 16,000 2 life at Laurel, and it ran okay that day. It ran a good third on a sloppy track at Pimlico back in May against 16,000 2 life. So on the drop to the nickel today, the 1 Lagras Bill should be awfully tough.
Yeah, he's going to be forwardly placed. I think the other horse is going to be forwardly placed with him is the 5, and that's who I'm going with here, Pep Talking. Parks last time out, Delaware before that, but he returns to his home base here in Maryland. Claudio Gonzalez with some very live runners I've seen this weekend so far in the entries. So I think Pep Talking, perhaps if he can use his speed and return to some of his springtime form back at Laurel Park, can try to wire the field or at least prompt the pace the whole way here.
You have to respect the trainer. Claudio Gonzalez wrapped up another leading trainer meet. He won the summer title at Laurel Park. So Claudio's live. He gets 7 pounds off with the apprentice Victor Rosales, who's back in the saddle after missing a little time, but he's back. So 112 for the 5 Pep Talking. The 2, we both like the 2 Hunk of Rock here for Noah Abramson. Darius Thorpe rides a lot of Charlestown, so he knows these short tracks here. So 5-year-old by Rock Slide, he's getting a drop as well. He has some early speed. They might just try to go right to the front and steal this one early.
He's going to try, that's for sure. I thought his best race was on the turf back in June. Of course, no turf here at the Big T, but he's got one way to go, and that's go and try to prompt here, Hunk of Rock.
All right, so both Dave and I like the same 4 horses there in race 1. Let's turn the page here. Race 2, we'll kick off the early pick 4. We have 3 pick 4s starting races 2, 4, and 6. So we start the early pick 4 in race 2. We're going a half-mile classic Big T distance, 4 furlongs. Maiden claiming 25,000 for filly mares 3 and up. Some nice fillies in here. Scratch the 1, 3, and the 5. So I end up on the 2. We both have the same 2 on top here, 2, 4, 4, 2. I go with the 2 more better. The apprentice, the 5-pound bug boy, Julio Correa. He just won the leading rider title at the summer meet at Laurel. It hadn't been done in like 6 or 7 years. That's pretty big. So he rides this 4-year-old filly for Jason Egan. She showed speed last out against Maiden 40, going 6 furlongs. Now 3rd off the layoff. We're dropping. We're only going a half mile. We get the leading rider, so I go with the 2 more better on top.
Another drop down the ladder there for more better. She just seems to like to run 2nd, to run 3rd. I think Tempted by Tito's has more 4 furlong type speed, and that's the reason I went with her on top. She was out of a turf race here August 10th in Maryland on a yielding ground at Laurel, where she was very deep up the backstretch, prompting the pace, then took back, angled in midway on that turn, and then raced a little bit erratically, perhaps due to the yielding going that day, but on the fast dirt today with good gate speed, I think she'll be the one to prompt just outside of more better. Looking the battle between those 2, hoping the 4 wins that battle. 4-2, 7-5.
Yeah, Jerry Robb going turf to dirt, a big 39% of positive ROI. Xavier Perez and Jerry Robb, they finished up the summer meet at Laurel in strong fashion with a couple big weekends. So, all right, so 2-4, 4-2 on top there. In the second, let's turn the page here. Race 3, we're going a half mile, claiming 8,000 filly mares 3 and up. Never won 2 lifetime, and we both have the 5 on top here. She's a handful. J.D. Acosta, always a top rider here at the Big T. He rides this filly by Into Mischief for trainer Hugh McMahon. A good second against Nickel 2 Life at Laurel back on July 19th. Hugh claimed the filly that day, stepped her up to the 16,000 2 Life sprinting on the turf. She ran okay that day. She was the beaten favorite. She's 0 for 2 on the turf. She gets what she wants today. Cheap, going a half mile on the dirt with a good gate rider and J.D. Acosta.
She was a little bit dull early in that race, Stan, and then angle outside, and then finished with a little bit of interest down the stretch, beating only 2 lengths, but returns to the dirt today and with a drop. I'm not really sold on her as a great play here in the spot. I'm thinking number 3 on Kiss Me perhaps could be her main rival with that early speed from Belterra, and coming back here for trainer Jason McCutcheon after the layoff out of a race race that's produced a winner there on May 18th at Belterra. I mean, she's pretty quick up front, and no missteps or she's a handful. I mean, she was pretty dull early on the grass last time out. That's my main concern about her.
All right, so we both like the 3 on Kiss Me. I saw trainer Jason McCutcheon on the way in here. He always does well here at Timonium. Al Cortez, a good gate rider. The 4, Nightmare, is your 9-5 morning line favored in this race. She's going turf to dirt for Donnie Barr. She's run okay coming off the layoff. She hasn't been setting any records. Now she gets back to the dirt today. She doesn't have too much early speed.
Well, 3/4 of a mile or 6.5 here. Maybe I'd like her a little bit better. Again, she'll be a little farther back against this group in the third this afternoon, going that half-mile run.
And the 1, General Fun's been going 4.5 at Charlestown, so she's going to show speed from the inside with Jose Montano aboard.
Yeah, you would think, but I don't know if she's as fast as the likes of Unkiss Me early.
All
and
right.
if she's a handful, shows up.
All right, so we like the same 4 horses there in race 3. Race 4 will kick off the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6. In race 4, we also kick off the middle pick 4 in this race. So lots of action here for the 4th. We're going 6.5 furlongs, claiming 8,000 filly mares, 3 and up. Never won 2 lifetime. I go with the 3 on top. My long shot play of the day. Why not? Julio Correa, the leading rider of the summer, rides this filly for trainer Hammy Smith. She hasn't been running very well at all, but Hammy Smith, he had a big 30-1 long shot winner. It was a first-time starter, different kind of race at Laurel on closing weekend. I'm just going with the connections I like here in a soft group here. So I go with the 3, Princess A Go-Go with Julio Correa on top.
I don't know. I mean, she couldn't get close to Pictura last time out, so I just kind of didn't pick her in the mix at all.
She's going to be a bomb.
I did like number 4, Towson. I think she's a great play today off the claim for trainer Claudio Gonzalez. Claudio did this last year, first off the claim at Timonium, a horse named Miss Nosy. Remember her?
Sure.
Claudio, the good claim here. I think she's going to be prominently placed here. New barn, shaking her up with some more early speed. I like her in the spot. Towson, if you can get 7-2 all the way up 6-1, or maybe a little more, that's fine with me. Working the magic for Magic Stable and the first claim.
All right, so I like the 4. You have to respect Claudio off the claim. He's 24%. We both like the 2 as well. I like the 2. Crossing the Valley for Pat McGill. Victor Rosales rides this filly. She had a nice maiden score on the main track at Laurel June 1st against maiden 25, and then tried a tough starter allowance condition late June. That was just too tough. She gets a big drop today, and the 6.5 furlongs might be perfect for her.
How about our friend Cal Lynch, second after the layoff. November 18 to July 18, brought it back at Laurel. I'm talking about Henningham. Finished 5th there, a little bit dull. Finished with a little bit of late interest in that race. Second after the layoff with this low-level type claimer. He's 26%. I think Henningham's going to show up today, make a good little late run against this group. Perhaps even closer to the pace with this drop down to 8,000.
All right, Cal Lynch, he led all trainers at Laurel Park over the summer meet with the leading win percentage. So the barn having a strong year. I didn't use the 1 here. Perfect Exchange. You'll get a nice price maybe on this filly. Xavier Perez aboard for Amy Cortez.
Rodney Jenkins and Unjin Jenkins, I think they like this filly, but they kind of said, well, you know, she'll ever get out of the gate. Maybe she'll make a winner for someone. They sold her, I guess, privately to Amy Cortez. And, again, out of the gate, hopped out of the gate, off slow. Look at her comments. Hopped off slow. Slow start. Hop start. Rail. Slow start. Hesitated start. Slow start. In tight start. Just about every race. So if she gets out of the gate, hey, no problem. She can be a factor in this race, and she'll be rolling late, I think, as usual. Perfect Exchange. Kind of a bad luck filly. Maybe looking for a lucky charm today with a move to the Big T.
All right, and well, you hope they've done some gate work with the 1 Perfect Exchange. The 6 Parch Ghost you have in the mix there. Race 4, you'll get a good price on that filly. She had a nice maiden score on a good track late April at Laurel Park.
With the scratch of the 7 and the 8, I had to throw someone in, so she was the next logical for me. Parch goes to Gray filly.
All right, so we're all over the place there in race 4. Maybe a long shot potential there in race 4. Let's turn the page. You like the late pick 5 today. Starts in race 5 with that industry low 12%. Take out let's check out your ticket, see how you played it.
A little deeper early, and in the 8th race, I was bantering around between the 1 and the 2. Almost singled the 1, kind of like her in the 8th race. So I'm using 3 by 3 by 2 by 2 by a couple in the last race, which seems to be kind of a wide open scramble when you look at it on paper as well. But I think we got an angle in the last race there with the 3 horse. So a little deeper early because, as you see, Stan, the 5th race, maiden claimers. We have a couple of first-time starters in here, like John's Promise, Bypass, Catonsville, class-dropping Baravelli, which makes it interesting because Baravelli is going to be, I think, the big favorite, wouldn't you say, 7-5 on that morning line on the drop. Yet there's some first-time starters with potential.
Let's check out our picks here. That's a good ticket there. Let's check out our picks here for race 5. We're going a half-mile maiden, claiming 10,000, 3 and up. I chalk it up. I go with the 7-5 favorite on top. Baravelli for Dale Capuano. Weston Hamilton will ride. Yeah, ran well first off the claim back in January, then threw a clunker back in February. So they gave this 3-year-old by Super 99. He's a Maryland bred, so they gave him some time off. Now he's coming off the layoff, an aggressive move here first off the layoff. Well, he got beat 22 lengths, so you have a license to steal. So smart horseman here like Dale Capuano says, let's go ahead, make it as easy as possible here for Baravelli. So a good spot here for the favorite coming off the layoff.
Well, when you draw a line through that race and have a little bit of faith that he can run back to the race 2 back on January 12th, he's an all-or-nothing proposition. And that last race was a pretty good one, too, for 25. There are 2 winners out of their honor run, and TB12 is 71-62 Beyer number. That's the reason he's going to be favored. I'm going to try to beat him with a first-time starter here, coming down from Delaware, Michael Gorham, who's by Handsome Mike, a multiple graded stakes winner of just over $1 million, and out of a dam there, it's called Serial Thriller. 9 starts she had in her career, Stan, and 5 of those 9 were on the lead, right there with early speed.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that maybe she can pass it along to this colt and come down here and zip away, hoping that the colt has a lot of speed like her dam did.
The Gorham barn always dangerous with first-time starters. He's a big fan of the fair racing. Tim Tulloch said he came from the Great Barrington Fair up in Vermont. I caught him with a first-time starter a few years back. Yeah. Irish Inspired
I remember that horse,
on St. Patty's Day. So, all right, so I like the 4. John's probably, but we like the same 4 horses here. The 5 even it up. Al Cortez on this 5-year-old for Jason McCutcheon, coming off a long layoff. This is, some spotty forms here, but that race at Keeneland way back in April 2018 was open up, got in front that day against Maiden 30,000. So this horse might have a little early speed, and you get a good early speed rider with Al Cortez.
2 starts, 1 in 16, took 17 off, comes back in 18, and now after the layoff, broke out of the start, then flashed Gonzo early speed at Keeneland. What do you do? I mean, if it keeps raining, the track is good right now. I did take a little angle there on the slop angle. The sire, even the score was 1 for 1 in the slop with 102 Beyer figure. So maybe the off track or any kind of wet track will move up, even it up.
All right, and we are starting with an off track for race 1. The track rated good right now, but it looks like the rain has subsided for the most part, hopefully. So we'll see if the track upgrades later on, or if we get some more rain, we'll let you know. So here we go, race 6. We kick off the late pick 4 in race 6. We're going 6.5 furlongs, claiming 4,000 filly mares 3 and up. Haven't won a race in 6 months. Never won 4 is the condition. We both like the 2 here. Dat Dare's Goal for Laurie Testerman. Second off the layoff today. Kevin Gomez will ride. That was a good third against Beaten Nickel at Laurel, July 27th. That was a real good third with a 60 Beyer speed figure. Now second off the layoff, we find an easier Beaten 4,000 today and Kevin Gomez back aboard. So we both like the 2.
I almost put him on top, but I wound up with a 1 Intrepid Forest here, a 2 for 4 on an off track, if that means anything. But the reason I like her in the spot is her last race. Good early speed, dueled in solid fraction. She'll be a little bit more relaxed on the pace today, I think, from the inside gate with Ashley Castrenzi aboard for Beth Wharton. First time the Beth Wharton barn. Intrepid Forest for a wire-to-wire attempt here. I know that Dares Gold has had speed in the past, but I've seen her come from off the pace in the past. We'll see what happens. I do know, Stan, that her last out was pretty good. Third, beaten 3 lengths by Shikor, who after that win came back to run 4th with a decent fig, outrunning her odds at 19-1 on the turf in her next start in a little bit of a class raise. So that puts her right in the mix. Like your horse, too. So I went 1-2.
All right, so we both like that. There's Gold, but you're going to get a nice price there on Intrepid Forest at 6-1 there from the rail for Wasabi Ventures. You know, they'll have a big crowd out here for the 1 Intrepid Forest. All right, so the 2 features of the day are races 7 and 8. Race 7 is going to kick off the final pick 3. It's a nice maiden special weight for 2-year-old fillies going a half mile, scratch the 2, 3, the 6, and the 7. Still some nice fillies in here, and we both like the outside filly here, Rapid Ash Queen for Jerry Robin, the X-Man Xavier Perez. They're a pretty ambitious spot in debut. They tried maiden 40,000. That's like a maiden special weight in Maryland. They bet this filly down to about 2-1. She's by Tri-Tap, bred by the Bowmans here in Maryland. She showed a little life in that race. She had to break from the 2-hole in a big 9-horse field. She showed a little life and then just packed it in and got beat 22 lengths. So now a little easier spot today. The blinkers go on, a much better outside post today for the 9 Rapid Ash Queen.
And just got word that the track is sloppy from our floor director here. So the track is sloppy. Maybe that off-track work, a couple of notes may help you a little bit today. I like this horse too, this filly, Rapid Ash Queen, 9th in her debut. Behind Halo Beautiful, sticking together. The runner-up there came back. Perhaps Maryland Million bound, a great notion filly who looked good the other day, winning at Laurel with a nice 76 buyer figure. Blinkers going on for some concentration. She got play that day. She chased the pace and tired and draw a line through that 22 lengths and comes back here for John Robb. I think she's just going to try to get and go at half mile.
All right, so we both have the 9 Rapid Ash Queen on top. We both like the 1 Giggling, second-time starter for trainer Cal Lynch. J.D. Acosta will ride this filly by Creative Calls. She took some play in debut as a maiden special weight, sprinting on the turf late July at Laurel. They bet her down to 7-2. She showed a little speed and then faded. That was a tough race, so this is an easier spot today. I don't like the 1-hole going a half mile. She's going to have to break sharp once again and get good early position with JD.
A positive out of that race is Bella Aurora came back to win, though it was on the turf, and looked pretty good there for Country Life Farm with a 66 buyer figure, but no grass here. And she's got that speedy filly, I think is a speedy filly to her outside, and a horse by Competitive Edge, 5 owners Sweden here, who's turning into a hot first-time starter, 2-year-old type sire. 9 2-year-old winners by Competitive Edge already. So I'm taking a look at this horse only because of that pedigree there. Paul McEntee horse coming in from the Thoroughbred Center in Lexington.
Yeah, some sharp works down there in Kentucky. Get Wesley Ho to ride, so the 5's going to be live. The 8, a start gold for Country Life Farm in Trombetta. Filly by Cairo Prince. Didn't like the turf at all in debut. That was up at Saratoga. Well, they took it off the turf. They tried to get to the turf. They took it off the turf. Still a big 10-horse field. Maiden special weight against New York Breds at Saratoga. She was bet down to 5-1, but didn't run very well. Was wide. Got beat 33 lengths. So gets a better spot today.
When you're bet down to 5-1, even against New York Breds in a 10-horse field at Saratoga, there must have been some clocking in the morning going on there, or maybe some word out. Did work at Saratoga on the training track, and I don't know. You have to draw a line through the race and think that she's a little better than that debut.
All right, so race 7, nice maiden special weight for 2-year-old fillies. Race 8, the feature of the day to kick off the late daily double. Nice first level allowance condition, 3 and up. Other than optional claiming 16,000. We're going a flat mile. I go with the favorite on top, the 1 Hanalei's Houdini, your 9-5 morning line favorite. You get the leading rider, Julio Correa, to ride for Hammy Smith. This filly, she's never run a bad race except her debut last February, but forget about that race. She hadn't run a bad race since then. A real sharp second going a mile against Open A Other Than Company last out.
Yeah, well, third to top line growth, 3 back at Laurel, and off track will do this horse, World of Wonders, moving him up just a little bit. Top and bottom, very strong off track. Jersey Town, the sire, 3-time winner on an off track, and you got Speightstown, the sire of Jersey Town, probably the strongest off track sprint sire in the last 10, 15 years. And then Hanalei Bay, exploit in the bottom. I think the off track's going to move him up just a bit here, even though it may stop raining about 3:30 here in Maryland. And the track is rated sloppy right now under cloudy and light rain.
All right, so we both have the favorite on top here in race 8. I used the 2, Worth His Salt, in my exact Angel Cruz rides this 5-year-old by Roman Ruler for Jamie Ness. Big 80 Beyer speed figure. Last out with that win against Open 10,000 Company going long at Parks late July. So he's in good form right now for Top Connections.
Yeah, eye-catching work there at Delaware August between his last race, which is a win at Parks, and now very consistent type horse, 7 wins, 7 seconds, and 5 thirds. Ness, he's a solid trainer, though he was a little bit light last meet at Timonium. We'll see if he can pick up his percentage at Timonium for the 2019 meet.
All right, and the 5, Lion Lord, had a sharp win first off the claim for trainer Ricardo D'Angelo. Small outfit, having a big year. Carlos Carrasco was aboard for that win. That was against Open 16,000, going 7 furlongs. He rallied from off the pace that day. 5-year-old son of Bernardini tries Allowance Company today.
Off the claim win, the first time around 2 turns.
Was that what's going on with the blinkers on? Is that a mistake? I have blinkers on here.
That is correct. Yeah, okay.
You have blinkers on as well?
It is blinkers on, which was not in the initial
it looks like a
initial
mistake.
DRF print. No, that's what I have here in the program is blinkers on. So you're right. Really good point. So going distance to ground for the first time, he's kind of always been. I thought of him as a one-run sprinter, but I loved his grit, his determination there with a big move, eye-catching move. I thought in August at Laurel, off the claim for 16,000. Can he go the distance? Well, by Bernardini out of Sugar Swirl, you bet he probably can. I do fear him in here, but I'm going to go with Hanalei Houdini and Worth His Salt on that pick 5 ticket. And again, you're right, Stan. I don't have blinkers on my early form print, but it is blinkers on in the program.
Well, I don't like them then because that's a stupid move. They took the blinkers off first off to claim he wins. Now they put the blinkers back on. So I must be missing something.
No, he's one with blinkers.
That doesn't make any sense.
Okay, he's off your ticket.
I'm throwing the 5 out.
All right,
he's
9th
out.
race.
Maiden 10, 6.5 for 3 and up. I go with the 10 on top here on the outside here in race 9. El Rojo for Jerry Brooks. Christian Gerardo rides this 3-year-old by El Padrino. Sharp effort, 2 back on the synthetic at Presque Isle. Didn't like ran okay on the turf last out, but finds a good spot today.
I guess he can win. I mean, he's 0 for 13, right? And he was second at Presque Isle Downs, 2 back to an 0 for 25 maiden. So I had to kind of look elsewhere, but they're looking and, looking really, really deep. I went to number 3, Giant Viking. Giant Viking here on a little bit of a drop dead into the 10 after the 16 try. Couple of turf races. He's only had blinkers on the last 3 starts. This is the second time blinkers on the dirt. The only time he had blinkers on the dirt was against Maiden 25. He was 4-1 against Honor Run, a very quick horse. 3 back over at Laurel Park. I'm hoping he can run back to that February race at Laurel or Maiden 50. That would do the trick against a horse who I think kind of likes to run second, El Rojo. Maybe today's the day for him. Don't know.
All right, so we both like the 3 here. We both like the 7 as well. The 7, that's my fella for Bill Bourne. Kevin Gomez rides this 5-year-old by Cuba. Second off a long layoff and a nice drop from the maiden 25 to the maiden 10 here today. So it's the right move here. Second off, almost like a 2-year layoff for this horse.
Right, that's the big question is at the time away. Horses had more recent races in succession as Defend the Bay. Finished 5th last time out to Son of a Pony going that 1-turn mile at Laurel, a 2 back, a very solid effort. Though beaten 8 lengths, that 8 lengths accounted for by the winner, the Magical One, against the same level. Mid-30s, upper 40 buyer number might be all you need in this spot against a long-time maiden there, the 10. And again, on off-track note, number 3 Giant Viking top pick. The Dam was an off-track winner. Was shuffled back early, I thought, on July 19th at Laurel Giant Viking. I mean, I'm counting on a little bit of a little bit of everything in here. Off track, a little trouble note, coming back on the dirt with the blinkers for the second time against easier company, hoping it adds up to a win for Gary Capuano.
All right, I hope you get a little decent price there on the 3 Giant Viking. We're about 28 minutes out for race 1 to kick off that early pick 5. Remember, industry low, 12% takeout on both pick 5s here at the Big T. Welcome to the Maryland State Fair, the 132nd year for the Maryland State Fair. We'll be doing the handicapping show each and every day.
All right, see you tomorrow, and got some Travers. Get your Travers picks ready too.
That's right, Chad Brown. That's all you need to know.
Okay.
All right, good luck.